The last passenger train departed the station at Berkeley Springs nearly a century ago, and while the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad continued to haul freight up the line for several more decades, as traffic declined, this section of the railroad was eventually abandoned. But soon it will begin a second life as a Rails to Trails project.
The North Berkeley Rail Trail is a project that we've had on the books for quite some time now. It's taken a lot of effort by the community to bring it together. We've had lots of steps along the way. The central focus of this project is the donation of land by CSX to the town of Bath. At first they weren't sure what they wanted to do with it, but we were able to get transportation alternative grants for the development of rail trail.
The area behind the station used to be a rail yard, and contamination from that former use left it classified as a brownfield.
So with the help of West Virginia DEP, we entered the Voluntary Remediation program for the trail. It was a complex project, first doing testing, determining what we could do with each lot, what we needed to do for remediation, and then trying to figure out how we were going to pay for it. One of the innovative things we did was break the lot up into 3 parcels because we knew that they were going to be advancing at different times along the way. So with 3 parcels of land, we could address remediation for each parcel separately. And because they all had different levels of contamination, we could do different things on them.
Based on this site, the different types of land uses that we had historically made breaking this site into different parcels a little easier to deal with. Parcel 3 was the trail itself and most of the tree saving efforts. That one was completed already and has received a certificate of completion. Parcel 1B is kind of off of the parking lot. It'll be additional parking and a stormwater feature. It has also received its certificate of completion. And parcel 1A, we are in the works of working through it. We just have the remedial actions to do, putting the cap in place in that, and then it'll be completed as well.
That stormwater feature Matt mentioned is called a hugelkultur. And if that funny-sounding German word seems familiar, you may recall the story we did on it back in 2018.
Hugelkulturs are basically a compost unit. Sometimes they're dug into the ground, most of them are above ground. It's mounded up organic matter is what they are.
The word hugelkultur was coined back in the 1960s to describe a farming practice that dates back centuries. It's only recently been tried as a stormwater control measure, like here in the Greenway Cemetery in Berkeley Springs.
That was our test case. We did a small demonstration project by decommissioning a road in our cemetery, which has extremely steep roads. We built hugelkultur on top of old asphalt on a very steep hillside, and we found that it worked. It absorbs a lot of moisture and water and also helps filtrate that water so that it becomes cleaner in the process. And now we're going to tackle it on a bigger scale for a parcel that receives approximately 2.5 acres of runoff.
The train station at Berkeley Springs is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Town leaders hope it becomes an anchor for business and tourism as recreational opportunities along the rail trail are developed.
The vision is to highlight the beautiful depot building that we have and to help people understand that this is a community that has a lot of history to it, as well as benefit the community by offering another gathering space. Ultimately, we plan on building a pavilion as well as some additional seating here, perhaps have some concerts, fairs. It's going to provide additional parking for the businesses in this area. And it's just going to be an overall beautification project that not only is ecologically friendly, remediates a brownfield so that it can be used again, but makes the community feel good about itself.
In Berkeley Springs, I'm Mike Huff for Environment Matters. Thanks for watching.